Good morning, everyone. Welcome here this morning to the Caddo Nation. I know we have folks online, so if we can get a count of all the Caddo members that are here, and online we'll take a count for roll call. So just raise your hand if you're. Go ahead. Don't be scared. Raise your hand. Okay, we have 31. We have 11 online and the rest in the room. Appreciate your time this morning, taking out the time to come here and share your thoughts, concerns, comments, suggestions, and everything that we're doing here at the tribe. Before we get started, I'm going to ask one of our younger Caddo members, and he's also our environmental guy and does a lot for us here at the tribe. Brandon Wooster. He comes from a family that's well respected within the tribe. The Wooster family, they're descendants from Jose Maria Aish, who was the last hereditary chief of the tribe before Enoch Hoig, his nephew, took over. So this is a direct tie to our chief and the family. So I'm going to ask you to say a prayer for us.
Good morning, guys. Bow your heads, please. Dear Lord, thank you guys for allowing us to come together today. It's always a beautiful thing getting together, seeing all the Caddo members and hearing all the updates from all the departments. Look after everyone as they travel home today and be with them as they go through this next week. Be with everybody if they're going through hard decisions, hard times. Be with the ones that need it and just look after everybody. And I hope everybody has a really good day. God bless. Amen.
Okay, there's also a sign-in sheet going around if you haven't signed it, or if you need it, just raise your hand. Someone to bring it to you. So has everyone got a copy of the minutes last? I think we provided. Travis, did you provide everyone copies of that? Okay. If you want to read over that for the January 31st approval of the tribal membership minutes, we'll give you some time to take a look at that. Thank you. Also, I see some new faces in here here at the membership meeting. So, tribal members. So at the conclusion of reading the minutes, if someone wants to make a motion at that time, someone to do that and someone can second it, then we would vote. That's normally how that happens, just so that you know. And you can also abstain. Yeah, so the minutes are on the website. What's that? I think we're having some IT problems related to the people that's on. Uh, so those online with us today, the minutes are on the website. I think we're ready here in this room to approve or disapprove the minutes. Okay, so just so everyone knows, we're just having a little difficulty with our IT and our members. We want to make sure that they can read these. So we're just going to pause for a moment and allow that to happen. When they get those, they'll let us know. And so in the interim, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about new business as the chairman of the tribe and just kind of give you, let you guys know where we're at as a tribe. So I just put it on here. I can't see if I take my glasses off, so everybody's blurry, but I can't read if I have them on. What do they call that? Nearsighted or blind or something? So you just have to bear with me. And I think I could. Do I need the mic so everybody can hear me that's on the web? Okay, I'll just take it with me. I used to have a suit when I was a kid, believe it or not, and I have a sister named Diane, which Lois knows, her best friend, and she went to be with the Creator not too long ago. However, my sister used to put me on a table and they made me dance when I was like 4 or 5 years old to Elvis Presley. I had a blue suede suit, I had blue suede pants, and I had blue suede shoes, and I had a blue suede shirt. And I went to church like that. God, you should have seen all them Caddos. Look at me. It was the funniest thing they've ever witnessed in their life. But I got a new name out of it, so I was good with that. And so some of those people in that church was Pauline Sabia, Madeline Hamilton, right? Other known as Pauline Washington, and some of these old Caddos that were all there, and Grandma Clara Brown. And they wanted to know what happened to me. I told them I turned into Elvis Presley over the night. And that's when they had 8 tracks, and they would put the 8 tracks, and they put me on the table, and they made me dance for everyone. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But after I grew up, I was like, man, that was stupid. So I still have a little Elvis in me. That's why I'm wearing a jacket, just so that you guys know. I'm an Elvis Presley fan. What's that? No, Lois, y'all tricked me. Y'all tricked me. I grew out of that. But anyway, I'm really glad to be here and just really want to talk to you about, just really address the tribal membership in regard to self-governance in the state of the Caddo Nation. This tribe has grown by leaps and bounds in the last 4 years, 5 years. It's a tremendous opportunity to be your chairman and for the council to be involved in the things that we've been involved lately. It's a new era for the tribe. It's a new era because you make it that way. Each one of you that are here, our employees, our directors, everyone that helps us from the janitor all the way up to where I'm at, vice versa in the council, we cannot do it alone. Right now we have people online from different parts of the United States. That's really great because we want them to have a voice. That hasn't been done the way that we would like it have had happen in the past, but then again, technology allows us to do that. So. And technology also, we end up going through things like we're right now, waiting on some response on the IT part. However, it's a tremendous thing. We have a lot going on at the moment. I'm really thankful the election board is here. I want to thank them for being here. Raise your hand if you're on the election board because I'm blind and can't see. Okay. And now also the Constitution Commission, Reform Commission is here. We have 2 right here. The council is here. Raise your hand if you're a director of your program here. We have our directors all back here. We had some of our elders in our last membership meeting. Why aren't the directors here? We'd like to talk to them. We'd like to visit with them related to their programs and services. They are here today. You're welcome to visit with them. Also, we're going to allow them to have a minute or two to just express to you their thankfulness for working here, as well as the programs and the services that they provide our members. Now, with that said, we have a lot of agencies across the United States, including the Department of Interior, as well as the Department of Energy, Bureau of Land Management, the Corps of Engineers, the United States Military, Bureau of Fish and Wildlife, National Park Service. We have a lot of agencies that we are working with currently that they're watching every move that we make. The reason for that, it's astounding to these agencies of the growth that we had in the last 4 years. And I'm pretty excited and I know the council's excited as well, is that our audits are clean. Clean enough in regard to provide that assurances of being self-sufficient and leading us into another era and being able to build on capacity related to financial concerns that agencies and the greater public have related to tribes, because tribes, unfortunately, are a risk. You heard it, yeah. You are a risk. You are a risk to your own self-determination. You are a risk related to your own destiny. You are a risk to banks. You are a risk to agencies. Why? Because of the infighting, the not getting along, the assimilation. Also, the United States government assimilating us into the systems of the greater United States, like taking a lot of our people during the relocation period, sending them to California for jobs in the 1950s. That's part of that assimilation. We actually met some of those folks about 2 weeks ago. I think there was a commission meeting in California. No one knew I was going to show up. Those that are in California, thank you for being online. Thank you for being there. Thank you for showing up. You're not forgotten about. I know they went to Texas and did the same thing. Thank you for those that went to Texas. And I know folks are in Albuquerque right now getting ready for a Constitution reform meeting with our constituents in the West, as well as the election board and everything that you've been doing related to this upcoming election. And I just want to thank you and appreciate everyone being here. I don't want to take up too much time, but you are right now in a different state of affairs with your nation as far as being able to move forward. My goal, and one of my goals before I leave, before I retire again, I actually came out of retirement to help the tribe. However, I'm a business owner in my private life, just so that people know. You know, and we have a council. We have an election coming up. But just so that you know, whether I'm here today, gone tomorrow, you know, here 4 years or 12 or however long my life is here, my job as your chairman, and it's just the way that I feel, and you know, 24/7, 7 days a week. My mother's sitting right here. So, on behalf of my mom and my family, I want to do everything that I can to leave this tribe in shape administratively and financially, and put the framework into the tribe needs related to what the council's doing and the decisions you make to better fulfill the tribal needs and preserve our tribe and move the tribe forward. It just has to happen so that we're all comfortable and someone else can come behind us and pick up the pieces, you know, to move forward. So, you know, if you know of anyone that could help the tribe, if you know of any talent, one that is looking to come back to the tribe, maybe they're a banker, maybe they're a ditch digger, maybe they're a nurse, maybe they're looking for a job. You know, anything that you could possibly think of, please look at our website or our Facebook. Now, that doesn't say that they're guaranteed a job. I'm just letting you know that that we're looking in all these different areas. And sometimes a lot of people ask me about something. You know, that's why we have departments and that's why we have a structures. I don't know everything. You might have to ask Jim. You might have to ask, you know, Kelly. You might have to ask one of the directors. You might have to ask, you know, the election board. You might have to ask someone else because we're so busy. Doesn't mean that we don't care. We don't set those things up. It's just that, you know, if I ask you what you guys did yesterday or what you guys are going to talk about, it's foreign to me, right? So I'm going to turn things over to you, and you can express everything like you mentioned to me earlier to our people. That's the way we're going to do things, because being involved is important. I'm going to pick on somebody. I don't think she's here. Travis, what's your cousin's name? I hate to point you out. Michaela. I had a great visit with Michaela Meeks the other day about veterans and needing a monument, and she's willing to help us. I think, Kelly, she's going to reach out to you if she hadn't. You know, I'd let her know that we're having a meeting. We need everyone. We need everybody. This isn't a Bobby thing. This isn't a council thing. This is a us thing. This is all of us, including in what we do every day, right? And we're going to make mistakes. We're going to get things right. We're going to maneuver. We're going to change things. Our people come a long ways to get here from the time You know, they said that we came out of this ground where this hole opened up, right? The Mississippi River, Red River met. We came out of the ground. Well, when they started bombing everyone, all those Caddos said, "Get out the shovels. We're going to dig our way back into the ground." Right? So what happened is we went after some dollars related to build a fusion center. And we was awarded some money to build a fusion center, like a bunker underground, so that our government could still operate if something happened catastrophically. That's about 1.2 million. It allows us to have phones, it allows us to have records, it allows us to archive stuff, and it allows us to have a record retention center. So that's underway. We're trying to continue to unlock those dollars because, you know, the funding in this administration, some of this stuff's been pulled back, so it's a fight every day. So I just want to leave it at that. And we have it on our new business, and then is everybody on ready? Did they get them? Okay. One more thing, and we'll go back to the minutes. So I know it's been a contingency. I know it's been a bad fill for our tribe. You know, I don't want to get into who, why, where, and how, and all that. However, as of today forward, the Caddo Nation Tribal Council and your elected leaders is investigating in reopening the tribal gaming facility at the Binger Tribal Store location here. This requires several layers of due diligence across legal, regulatory, financial, and operational areas, including confirming the Caddo Nation's eligibility and authority under the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act to reopen a casino. With that said, we're going to keep you posted. We wanted to provide you notice. There's a lot of work in that space to be done. Also, the Caddo Nation Self-Governance, OSG, that stands for Office of Self-Governance, negotiations, outline of tribal court system that is underway with the United States government, and 2, with the Interior out of Washington, D.C. OSG is Office of Self-Governance, and the Office of Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Justice Services. That's very vital, and the funding that comes with it. So we'll have our own court system here. We'll have be able to deal with our own disputes, be able to also codify law, have an attorney general, a court clerk, and have structure. Also with that comes our cops and our police force and those funds related to that. And forestry. So we're taking on those resources, those shares, negotiating with the government and what that looks like. I want to take the time out to thank the council for being in those negotiations, for allowing us to do that, as well as Kelly Factor being one of the negotiators and a retired U.S. Air Force commander and having deep ties to the Office of Justice Services in her role, as well as moving toward Indian Health Service eventually to compact or look at resources for mental health and clinics. We have staff on here as well that can provide us knowledge and information, you know, on the council. They're doing a great job. So if we want to get back to the minutes, Jennifer? All right, we're ready. How many members do we have online? 15 members. We grew that quick. Just so that you know, I think we have 7,557 members, something like that. We're going to be, right? We just enrolled, was it 17 new members last week? 17 members. We average about 17, maybe to 30. Is Patty here? Enrollment. You know, every time we take people in, it's just continuing to grow. Also, I think if the tribe did have, you know, an electoral constitutional change related to, you know, what the eligibility is to be a member, you also have to think as a tribe, as a whole, about descendancy. Because at some point, you will not, including myself and my kids and their kids, will not be able to be enrolled. However, if it went on descendancy, and that was something the tribe chose to do, the tribe as a whole, what happens is that'll probably put us around 32,000 or more people. I mean, and so you go from 8,000 to 32,000. Somebody told me, who was an elected leader, well, Bobby, if you do that and the tribe does that, that means you'll have 32,000 problems. I was like, great, it sounds like a winner. So if we can get to the minutes, Jennifer, if anybody wants to make a motion online, or she's a secretary, or those that are here. Yes, sir.
on the list of people who were online at the January 31st meeting. Number 9 is Diana, but you didn't have her last name, and her last name is Hampton. Hampton.
All right, so we'll have that correction. Diana Hampton, her last name needs to be on there. Hold on.
I said on motion 1, it says by Sydney Samaniego, seconded by, and then there's nothing. It says to approve. So I was like, there was only 3 of us here, so I'm thinking I know who it was, but I don't know for sure.
I think you did. I think we have the same 3 that was here last time. Okay, so that we'll make sure that we're correcting things correctly. Here you go.
Okay, what I said is I will go ahead and make the correction now, and I will go back and watch the video from the last meeting just to confirm it. So, and then we'll make sure the corrected ones get filed.
All right, so do I hear a motion to be made with the corrective measures?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as amended.
A motion's been made to accept the minutes as amended. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Sydney, and Jim Cousin made the motion. I'm sorry, I'm bad on names, so it's terrible. Raise your hand if you can vote. Say aye. And those that are online, if you can raise your hand on your computer. Jim, no offense. I got 7 kids, and I say, Nikki, Courtney, Anthony, good God, but David, you know what? Nathan, get over here. I do it all the time. 17 and 5. 17 approved, 5 abstain. Okay, so 17 approves and, total 17? 22 total? Okay, 22 total, motion carries. It is approved. Thank you very much, and appreciate your time in reviewing that. So I'm just gonna skip on because I could talk all day, and I don't want to do that. The Caddo Nation Election Board is here, and I want to provide them some time. They've been doing a fabulous job. We worked tirelessly on a budget. They do not give up. Let me tell you, they make sure that they're doing what they need to do, when they need to do it, and how they need to do it. And so, Sydney, we're going to turn it over to you. If you want, you can take it, or you can pass it on. You want to come up here? People online could actually see you better. Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot. I know they reached out to you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sydney Samaniego. I am the current Caddo Nation Election Board Chairwoman. Just some updates. We are having an upcoming election. It's going to be, our election's going to be in July 11th, I think. I always go back to last year, so I think it's July 11th. So we did put out a new jot form online and on Facebook to make sure you're registered. You can go on there, put in your information, upload your CDIB or any other verification for your address, and it sends it straight to our election board email. Some things that we did is we got a seat on the Prodigy program that enrollment has, so we're connected that way, so we don't have to rely on enrollment so much as because we're not here all the time. So we're connected in that way, and we're limited to information. So it's just basically the same things that are on the form. You know, we don't have access to your family tree or anything like that. It's just to make sure that the people that are enrolled have that opportunity, so that way we can make sure the mailers and all of that stuff go out, so that way everybody's aware of the election, and that way your voice can be heard. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We should be having our part-time employee in office in May. He usually comes and does about 11 weeks with us to help us through the election. So we will have someone in the election board office, which we're located down at the old casino. He's going to work Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Friday's going to be half a day. He'll work in the evening, or not evening, but 1 p.m. to 4:30. And I think that's it. Other than that, a good way to contact us is email. All our information is on the site, or you can call up there. Rose is really awesome about getting a message to me, and that way I can call someone back and answer any questions you may have. So I think that is it. Yeah, so on the absentee, she asked about the absentee process. So you can request an absentee ballot at any time. You can do it now, knowing that there's an upcoming election. We actually recommend that. That way we have the time. So as soon as we get the list of names, we do our due diligence. Thank you. So when we do that, um, then we'll, I totally lost my train of thought. Okay. Sorry, I was put on the spot here. I didn't know I was going to do this. So after that, we'll do the announcing of the candidates and everything like that. So once we get that and get the ballots made, we'll be able to ship everything out to the person who's requesting the absentee ballot. So the sooner the better. I know that we do put, like, at least in the Constitution and our ordinance, it does say at least 7 days before the election is the cutoff date. We're recommending at least 30 days. So we know the election is going to be in July. Get that absentee ballot in as soon as possible. So that way we're able to get everything back. You're able to get your affidavit signed, all of that stuff, and sent back in. Does that answer the question? Yeah, it was brought to my attention that people thought they had to wait to the 7 day mark to do that, and it says at least 7 days. It's the cutoff. We can't take any more after that because it won't give us time to mail out the ballots and then get the mail back in. So as soon as you can, if you are going to vote absentee, go ahead and send in your request for an absentee ballot. No, we can accept in the ordinance, it does say we can do mail, fax, any of that. Of course, it's not updated to email, but we accept email as well. Just make sure that you have everything right. Also make sure you have your address updated with enrollment, and that way we can send out everything. All right, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Sydney. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And those are online too as well. Jim. Now, not too long ago, this is, if everybody knows, Mr. Cousin. I was around Mr. Cousin and his cousin, and their cousin's cousins. And somebody asked me, how are you related to these guys? I said, we're cousins.
Oh, boy. Let me give her. I'm Jim Cousin, and this is Amy Heath. I'm Jim Cousin, and this is Amy Heath. We're commissioners. The other commissioners are Shannon Freeman, Tracy Newcomen, Burrows, Daisy Parton Slough, Becky Quinlan, Amy, well, I just introduced Amy, and then Lauren Toho, Morrill Hobb. The Caddo Constitution Commission is conducting its 8th Constitution Commission meeting today from 1 to 3 p.m. in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Davis Klein Law Firm, 127 Bryn Mawr, Southeast. Our commissioner, Lauren, is facilitating the meeting, and Commissioners Darcy and Shannon are assisting in the meeting. Stacy Hasmoon, the Caddo Nation Constitution Commission Program Coordinator, and Aisha Okart, Program Administrative Assistant, are also assisting in the meeting. The Albuquerque meeting is our 8th outreach meeting. Our 9th and final outreach meeting will be here next Sunday on May 3rd from 2 to 4 p.m. The meeting will be facilitated by Tracy Newcomen. Travis Thelkel is setting up a virtual component for the meeting to allow virtual access to this meeting. Commissioner Amy Heath and I will be assisting in the meeting. Please check the Caddo website, mycaddo.com, during the week for any additional information. The Caddo Constitution Commission is beginning the process of drafting its final report, which will be presented to the Tribal Council. The Commission is presently conducting Survey 2, and Commissioner Amy Heath is facilitating the survey, that survey, and we'll discuss it.
Thanks, Jim. So we have our survey 2 out now, and I have paper copies if anybody would like to fill it out here. And we also have QR codes, and you can scan this and do it on your phone. I only have 20 surveys, so if you want to fill it out on your phone, that'll help out. So I'm going to go ahead and pass these out now, and then just hand them back to me before you leave, or I'll be collecting them at the end of the meeting. But I actually won't be at that meeting on May 3rd, just to let you know. But yeah, if anybody has any questions before I go ahead and hand out these surveys. So this survey started at the beginning of April 1st. So if you've already filled it out, we already have your information. But
Thank you, sir. I was just kidding about us being cousins, because the more I dove into it, we could probably be uncles, brothers. I forget it. I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go figure out who else I'm related to. And with that said, I want to take time just for a second before I introduce someone. We'll follow back up with this. These gentlemen right here that you're handing stuff to, you young men over here, raise your hands. Everybody. Okay, just for a second, because we're going to get Mr. Keelan on, and he's allowed Mr. Keelan as a Caddo member. He's allowing the Constitution Commission to have their meeting there, and we're going to open up the mic for him in just a minute. Can you tell us where you're at and what you do for the tribe, and where you're from, and these two, and then you guys, and you can give me the mic back.
I'm Barry Bombardier. I work for the Historical Preservation Department. I live in San Antonio, Texas. And right now we are working on identifying cattle graves sites in this area here, within the allotment area of the original allotments. So that's what we're looking for, and we've had a lot of people reach out to us. Bobby gave us some really good, maps that he's had in the past. But yeah, that's what what we do. We work on historical preservation, like he was talking, or, you know, where we're not doing this, we're doing NAGPRA work, and we're doing archaeological surveys. San Antonio, Texas. Caddo. Parson. Parson DeBuck.
Well, it's kind of a repeat of him. I am his son, Brandon. I am a member of the Caddo Nation of Oklahoma. And I also, shocker, I also work in the Historical Preservation Department with my dad. It's going to be a repeat for pretty much him, too. And yeah, just piggybacking off of what he said, yeah, we're investigating, you know, some of the old cemeteries around here for preservation efforts, right? So, I mean, the big thing is, of course, reach out to us through email, through Jonathan Rohr, or through Rose at the front, or through anybody else. And yeah, if you know where an old cemetery, especially one that is not really being taken care of, or that is, you know, maybe the family's gone on or something. So yeah, that's kind of what we're at right now. But yeah, like him, archaeological efforts for the tribe. Yep. So here's. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So I went to University of Texas at San Antonio. I got my bachelor's and master's degree in literature from there. And then I went to the Institute of American Indian Arts, and I got my Master of Fine Arts from there. Same time, Tracy Newcome's daughter, Kira, got hers as well. We were both classmates at IAIA. That's the man from Virginia.
Yeah, my name is Joshua Bombardier, and yeah, doing all the same work they're doing, but yeah, I come from Virginia now, so it's usually a 16 or so hour drive, but years.
Okay. So yeah, we've been doing this
What's
for
up?
about 2 years now. Originally through Forestry Service, through Heritage Professional training, just doing archaeology with them. And then yeah, eventually the department became expanded. I suppose Bobby and Jonathan wanted to grow it more, and yeah, and then that's where we are now, doing you know, different digs and all that, doing different field schools and archaeological training, and also archaeological efforts for the tribe. One thing to remember is we have a very large historical area in which we occupied, and so there's so many sites, especially along the waterways, all the way from southwest or southeast Oklahoma, all the way over to Mississippi. All right, now we'll get on to Biscuit Keller.
Yeah, I'm James Keller. A lot of y'all know me as Biscuit, and I work with them with the NAGPRA and everything. And we've been doing this field work for, like I said, 2 years, and everything that he said, basically what I've done too. So, I mean, I don't have any degrees though, but no, we do good work. But yeah, no, we're getting some good work done, and we're just trying to find as many of these cemeteries as we can, handle them as respectfully as possible, getting them cleaned up and everything, and making sure that they're done right. Make sure they're not forgotten anymore either. So, but that's about it, really.
Appreciate it. You can hand the mic to Louise. Louise, they'll come get that mic from you. Just hold on to it for us. Yeah, hold on. So just so that everybody knows in this room, we've had a long history of looting of Caddo cemeteries and graves. And these guys have been tracking that. They've been working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and doing culture resource work along with archaeologists and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in our homelands of East Texas around Wright-Patman, Sam Rayburn, Lake of the Pines. We've been working with the Colonel in the Corps, and we've also been working with the FBI. One of the things that they've been tracking is the looting. There are sites and areas in East Texas that we're concerned with, as well as other areas right now as we speak that are being investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation under the American Archaeological Resource Protection Act, and we're busting people. That is the gist of it. These guys have been in the field. They're our eyes, they're our ears, and they're our legs. And so they came home. We was just awarded, an emergency, an amount of money from the National Park Service in the amount of $733,000 and some change to document Caddo historic cemeteries that are being threatened on allotments and here locally. And we're going to be working with families, and we're going to be working with individuals and other people to identify what cemeteries and graves that we can make sure that we know where they're at and make sure that they're cared for and not forgotten about. We're also working with the Interior and the Bureau to make that happen. I know you guys have been meeting. We had a core meeting here the other day. And so I really want to thank you guys. The most important thing about our tribe is how we put our people away. And the work that you guys are doing makes us feel good to know our people's not forgotten about. And so I want to thank you, and appreciate you being here. And Biscuit, we do know you. Biscuit also is a military guy. He was stationed overseas, U.S. Army. So you're educated, you're Caddo educated, and we're glad that you're out there with these guys. So there was a question that you guys had? No? Okay. Okay, we're going to open up our mic. We're going to take one question, then we're going to open up our mic for Mr. Keelan.
Can you briefly explain what NAGPRA is and when it started?
You're gonna make me go back into my files in my head. She asked, what is NAGPRA and when it became law. So it's the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, and there's regulations that go along with that. And that was passed in 1990. That allows an agency, university, a municipality, or a city that receives federal funds, if they're in possession or control or permitted excavations related to human remains and collections that can be culturally identified to a present-day local tribe, they have to give them back. They have to consult with us and they have to work with us. That's the gist of it. And so a lot of times that don't happen, and that's where these guys come in. And they're out there in the field. These guys are on the front line. So I hope that answers a little bit. And be more than happy to visit with you after we're done here. Okay, so Mr. Keelan, are you online? I don't know if he is. Is there a Zachary Keelan online, sir? You can open his mic up and let him in. Right now, there is, while you're pulling him up, just so that you mentioned, I don't know your name, I'm sorry. Sonny? Right now, I'm reviewing a bill for the United States in Congress related to the desecration of, and what happened to children related to in 1829 all the way up to present day related to schools and across the United States, because we're trying to put a task force together because a lot of these children went missing, or died from smallpox, so there's a lot of unmarked burials in schools and across the country. So there's a new bill being introduced related to that. All right, Mr. Zach, can you hear us?
Good morning.
You might want to turn his mic up. Okay, so this is Mr. Keelan. For those of you that don't know, Mr. Zach Keelan is the vice president of our Economic Development Board. In his private life, he is very, very successful. He is successful in his own right. He's also a trial lawyer. He's argued 9th and 10th Circuit court cases all the way in D.C. He lives in Albuquerque, and right now he's offered his law firm and his practice and his facility up, and that's where the Constitution reform people are out. Our people are out there too, and they're meeting today. It's at his place. So, Zach, we want to thank you for hosting the Constitution reform meeting that's taking place today in Albuquerque and New Mexico with our members in the western part of the country. So we wanted to open the mic up and allow you to talk about the platform of energy related to renewable energy because it's important to have a balance as well as our oil and gas and where we're headed on the energy piece.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to address the nation and the membership. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to talk a little bit about multiple projects that we have going on. The first one is the Caddo Nation and Canada applied for and received a grant for a feasibility study to look at the feasibility of creating a Caddo Nation Tribal Utility Authority. We've been able to complete that project early. We will be presenting it to the tribal council, and it lays out a roadmap and on-ramp for creating a tribal utility authority, and would allow us to participate in the wholesale power market to look to finance some generation assets and to hopefully fuel future development of the tribe as well. And with that, it will allow us to create a mixed platform of generation assets, hopefully, of mixing renewables and traditional energy and into a portfolio that can help power the nation itself and then to potentially sell power as well on the wholesale power market. The next thing and can I share my screen? Is that okay? Or will it not let me? I don't know if it'll let me. So I can I'll just go through. I had some slides to show, but that's okay. We also have, as you might have noticed, the tribe has been able to put together two solar projects.
Zach,
Yes.
hold up for a second. We had a problem with our IT and our mic. Go ahead and pull your screen up and show our members what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So the nation has, let me share my screen here. The nation has put together, I sent the request out for the screen share. But the nation has put together two solar projects that have already been installed and are already online as well. One at the Caddo Child Care Center, the new Child Care Center. It's a system that has 217.
Hey Zach, I'm sorry. It's up to you to share your screen to show those slides. It's on your end. We're ready on your end, on this our end.
Okay. There we go. So the tribe has been able to put together two rooftop solar projects. One is the solar project on the new child care center. The system is 217 solar panels. It has 115.8 kilowatts. Its annual production is over 170,000 kilowatts. And the energy offset is predicted. It's a new facility, so we don't know exactly how it will perform, but it was built for about 100% offset, and that's up and running as well. And then the nation also put together a solar project on the Travel Plaza. It has 414 solar panels. It's a 207 kilowatt system, has an annual production of 293,000 kilowatts per year, and it has an energy offset of about 98%. And what this has been able to do, importantly, is both of the net savings to the tribe over the life of the project will almost be $1 million. energy prices in Oklahoma are going up about, maybe 10% a year. And so this ultimately will allow dollars to stay in programs and not have to be used for energy, and has a very large carbon offset for those that are interested in that as well. So both of the projects are online and they're running. We also were able to apply for and receive a grant to study the feasibility of um, a utility scale solar project, which would ultimately be incorporated into the tribal utility authority. And the project looked at what was feasible in terms of the nation being able to put together a utility scale solar or a single wind turbine. Because of national politics, there's a lot of pressure on wind. We think that there is real feasibility for the tribe developing a utility scale solar array. And in doing that, what we looked at were multiple sites that the Caddo Nation owns by itself, that is already in trust. We also looked at the land at I-40 and also some of the WCD land, and sketched out the size of the arrays, the costs to create those, looked at potential financing options for those projects as well. And so if you have a kind of a general sense of the tribe's land holdings, we kind of evaluated almost all of the tribal sites that the tribe owns in whole or has sufficient interest in to be able to feasibly do utility scale solar. This project is going to be presented to the tribal council and then to later, actually at the next month, and then get some direction from the tribal council as to where they might be interested in going with it. The other project that Caddo has done in collaboration with the tribe is looking at mineral development for oil and gas on tribally held lands. This has included looking at a property over in Lokiba, putting together the seismic, the geology, all of that, and also looking at some other formations that the tribe may have access to. This has come out of, in large part, the tribe being able to get a hold of and a handle on its ownership. We've been working with the BIA for quite a bit of time in making sure that we had all of our actual land records. It allowed this administration to restart effectively the severance tax for the tribe. There's been a significant collection of severance tax from that oil and gas development that are happening on Caddo lands and on lands in which the tribe holds an interest. And that's also helped us look at and dial in a little bit more what development opportunities there might be for the tribe in the energy space. And so we are completing right now a study looking at what will be feasible for mineral development as well. And then additionally, on the renewable side, I'd like to give a little bit of an update on the orphan well program. So as many of you know, the tribe received a significant amount of money to develop and then implement an orphan well program. There are a number of orphan wells within our historic jurisdiction on Caddo lands and lands that the tribe holds an interest in. We've identified potentially over 30 orphan wells. We have tested those sites for methane leakage. We are doing soil and water testing to look at the remediation aspects of that and triaging those sites for reclamation and plugging of those wells. Some of the wells had been plugged really before the federal government had adopted more stringent standards concerning the abandonment and plugging of wells. And so some of those wells will have an opportunity to replug to prevent methane from coming out. Interestingly, too, the Trump administration removed a previous limitation on those grants that will allow us to quantify and register and sell carbon credits for those plugged wells. So we have actually, with our partners at the University of Oklahoma, applied for a little seed grant to do that work of actually quantifying and registering carbon credits from the orphan well program. In other words, companies, they're voluntary markets, but some companies are very interested that have requirements for carbon offsets in their state, or if they do it as a matter of policy in purchasing these types of carbon credits. So we're exploring that as well. And all of that is really all of these projects are really just examples of the tribe looking at sort of a diverse energy portfolio and trying to get more in the energy space and have more control over the tribe's resources. Additionally, I have been helping also develop policies concerning renewals of oil and gas leases. Our tax administrator has put together basically a well package that requires a lot more information coming to the tribe when wells are going to be operated on tribal lands. We are doing the same thing for right-of-ways, which is increasing the value of the Caddo estate in terms of right-of-way values, both for everything from transmission lines for electrical lines to oil and gas gathering systems and transportation pipelines that go through our lands. So historically, I think that there was a lot of consent to right-of-ways without really evaluating what the value of those right-of-ways were. Sometimes challenging the methodology that the Bureau of Indian Affairs might use to value those right-of-ways, and then just negotiating for better prices on behalf of the tribe. So that has been happening too, and all of that is a snapshot of the tribe getting better control over its resources, looking to build a more diversified energy portfolio, and particularly on the renewables, cleaning up our lands from oil and gas exploration, and on the renewables, driving down energy costs through the use of renewables. And so I just wanted to provide that snapshot. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'm happy to discuss anything else that folks would like to hear about.
Is there any comments online? No? No? Well, spoken like a true trial lawyer. His Indian name is Pro Bono, so that you know. So I know he doesn't like us to say that. He is a volunteer. So if you see Zach, please thank him for his service. He as well as our Economic Development Board. They are all volunteers. They're all successful in their own right, and they want to help the tribe. And so, Zach, again, I want to thank you for everything that you're doing for us and your family and the Parton family and your grandmother, Isabel and Willis Parton, your father, Don, all your aunts and uncles. Thank you for being who you are. And is there any last thing you'd like to say?
Sure. I mean, one of the things I think it's really important for the membership to know is that um, there's really been a spotlight because of Chairman's effort in spearheading these energy projects. There's really been a spotlight on the nation nationally. Our our resource manager and tax administrator, Megan Beegler, and I were both um, invited to speak on a panel at RES this year by the Department of Indian Mineral Development, DEMD, and to highlight what the tribe has been able to do in such a short period of time. And the nice thing too about these efforts is that we're coming out of sort of a planning phase for a lot of these, and Chairman has been invited to participate in a number of small, important policy groups, which really is helpful in terms of the flow of information and opportunities that we have, including additional funding opportunities to do everything from study some of these energy projects to actually get funding for building some generation assets. And the thing that, from an economic development perspective, that is, I think, really important about this is that, if you look at an industry like gaming, the pie is only so big, and it will continue to be divided up amongst competitors. Energy is a little bit different because the pie is always expanding, and the market is always expanding, and geographically we are in a very strategic place for energy development on the renewable side and as well as in traditional fossil like and traditional energy sources as well. And so I think Chairman has really helped focus on having a diverse portfolio and at the same time trying to clean up some of our own lands from past development that has occurred. And that's exciting as well. So that's been the approach. And we're coming out of some of the planning phase of a lot of these projects, which is exciting. So we hope to have new things to announce soon.
All right. Thank you, Zach, for being online again. Just really appreciate everybody, attention to this matter. Energy, you have to have it, right? Energy sovereignty, tribal energy sovereignty. What does it look like? Just so that you guys know in the room, I would probably do us a disservice if I didn't mention it. The Office of Indian Energy in Washington, D.C. has a cabinet. A gentleman was appointed by the White House to lead the Department of Energy. I was asked to be the co-chair for the Office of Indian Energy for that cabinet for the whole United States. There's 20 tribes that are attached to that, all the way from the tribes in Alaska, tribes in the west, to tribes in the east, to all the way to the Alabama Coshawta in Texas. Those 20 tribes will be coming to Oklahoma as well. It's called the Indian Country Energy Infrastructure Working Group. On behalf of the Department of Energy, on behalf of the Office of Indian Energy, we will be helping host that meeting here in Oklahoma next month. That is an internal cabinet that discusses energy needs and community needs for tribal members across the country. So I'm really glad to serve in that capacity. And Zach, thank you for everything that you do. Council, thank you for allowing me to serve as well in our members. So with that, the agenda, let's get back to see what we have on the agenda. Oh, yeah. 3D seismic. One more thing. If you've seen the signs when you come out here, if you notice when you come in, you might see a sign that says 3D seismic. When you go towards that way, you might see another sign. They're out there doing seismic work. If you receive any letters from Gold Star LLC or from Reagan, it's a company called Reagan, they're an environmental company, as well as any other documents from the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Interior, or privately owned companies, please look at that and understand what you're looking at. They're asking for members to sign off on seismic work. They'll provide you a bonus to allow them to be on your property to do the seismic data, to gather that information. If you do not sign up, and if you did receive a letter, they will not approach your land. They will stay off your land, meaning that your land will be left out of the mix if they decide to drill or if they just decide to produce those minerals. Again, there are sales going on at the Department of Interior related to your oil and gas and your critical minerals. So that's your land, that puts money in your pocket, that's practical preservation. If you have cash in your pocket or something that you have that's a worth, that also frees up social services and other programs that we have. Because guess what? You got a new car, you got a new house, you're doing well, you probably won't qualify for some of these services. It puts real cash in your pocket. What I mean by that, 44 million just went out. Remember we talked about that? They just released another 9 million. That's just in bonuses. So if you start seeing some of these relatives drive around on a car, maybe it's new, maybe you don't know what happened, ask them to buy you a cheeseburger. Okay, so just really appreciate everyone being here. And again, I just wanted to make a mention of that. We did have a call from a company the other day that's saying, hey, we're missing some of the errors that are Caddo, so our enrollment is doing what they can to track down some of these people related to probates. We have about 300 probates we're trying to unlock with the BIA related to errors in Caddo people. So with that said, I'm going to shift it up, and we're going to hear from any of these guys just for a second. You have 2 minutes. We're going to eat, and then all our members can ask you what they'd like to ask you whenever we're done. Here you go. You can introduce yourself and what you do.
Hi, I'm Harley Pruitt. I'm the director of the Opioid Response and the Victim Services Program. I've been in the position for about a year now. We've started a few new things. We have some care cabinets in Anadarko. We're recently working to go out, hopefully door to door, and provide Narcan, some different things like that, and continuing to look for other funding sources to grow our victim services program. Does anyone have any questions about what we do? Okay.
My name's Kathy Butler. I am the Director of Indian Child Welfare and Social Services. We've got some new things coming up. We're working on our tribal state agreement. Come to find out, we are under the Wichitas. I have to have that in my hand. I haven't seen it directly, but we will be able to start a foster care program. We recently got TAP, where we're able to run our fingerprints and get those results within minutes. So does HR gets to do it, child care gets to do it, and hopefully housing will be under that umbrella as well. We got great things coming, and still moving forward.
Hello, my name is Brittany Hernandez, and I am the housing director. I am very new to this position. I've been in housing for 3 years. We're still working through a lot with housing. It's definitely improving. I will say we definitely made a lot of improvements on our housing programs, but we offer like our home ownership, elderly rentals, low housing rentals right there in Half Moon. We are in the process of.
This is the garden hose nozzle. My team spent.
What? I was like, that was not me. Okay, I'm done.
I'm Charlotte Moore. I am the CHR Diabetes and AOA Director for the tribe. Right now at CHR, we've really been just busy trying to get people to their appointments like normal, advocating for our diabetic patients. New thing with the diabetic people is we're trying to get some of our elders on the CGMs. IHS is finally providing those for a lot of our tribal members, or before the tribes had to pay for them, and they were pretty expensive, but now we've had several step in and the IHS is actually covering them, so we're looking at better diabetic numbers for a lot of our people. And at AOA, we've been raising money for our elder fund because we're trying to go next year to the elder conference, which I believe is in I think it's in Albuquerque, but we've been having something about every month on that. We still have a podiatrist coming twice a month for our diabetic program that assists our elders with their feet, making sure there's no changes. If they do have issues, then we follow up with them, we get them an appointment, and we get them into whoever their primary care is, because we're the first line in that for sores or anything like that. So we know, and then we get those referrals out to the doctor so that they can get that taken care of. Can't really think of anything else right now. I did see in the minutes where we were asked about the $150 when it went to, it's always been $150 for diabetics as long as I've been in there. I've been in there almost 7 years. We do have one for members once a year. That's $100. Council actually gave us that money to be able to help all tribal members until the funding runs out. So we're very grateful for that. We've been able to help out a lot of people. And glasses are high, but at least gets them going where, maybe they can pay $20 or $30. So we're just growing, looking for new grants for everything, for medical equipment, for new equipment, so that, we were trying to keep people in homes instead of in nursing homes or in the hospital. So we kind of work with the nursing program a lot and just looking for new ideas or anything we can come with just to help our tribal members.
Brandon Wooster, Caddo Nation Environmental Director. So our big program, we've been doing a lot of roll-offs, cleanups and stuff, and over the last year, we've done 21 roll-offs so far with a combined weight of 91,000 pounds, which is really good. The EPA has recognized the Caddo Nation Environmental Department, and they are going to award us supplemental funding to purchase our own roll-off truck and roll-off trailer. That way it allows us to go do more cleanups, and there's going to be certain people that need cleanups that don't meet certain requirements. This is going to allow us to help them a little bit more easier. This is an update from EPA, EM, and then we're going to be working with transportation as well. We are looking at a possible water tower to bring to the Caddo Nation to where we have our own water system here in the future. This will allow us to build our own water systems, to build up however we want to do it. It's going to be good for the nation. As most of you guys know, we have a rainwater right down here by the casino. That will be in use summer 2026 this year. And it is one of, if not the biggest on the southwest part of the state. We are one of, if not one of the only tribes that have that one, a big one. And Jacob Schaefer is his name. He's looking at possible more funding because I know we have a fire station going up and we have a new possibly building going up with the Fusion Center. We would like the rainwater catchment system to be there as well. If anybody has any questions, you guys can email me, come see me. We can help you with a roll-off, any type of environmental assessments, mold, cleaning, just let us know.
Hi, my name is Rondo Kupsal. I'm the Director of Transportation. We maintain the 56 miles that are owned by the Caddo Nation, over 600 miles that's shared with the county. We get a couple of 26 bridges, and we do road signs, speed bumps, whatever we can. We always go after every dollar we can. We fight with them every day.
I am Elizabeth Circles, work in the tag office with my assistant, Talia. The most recognizable tribal tag in Oklahoma. Between February and April, we did 452 renewals and 153 new tags registered. We're here every day, 5 days a week. Come get a tag.
Hello, my name is Caroline Boton. I'm the Education Director. That's a little deceiving because I do administer programs for adult tribal members. I don't have funding for secondary members as of right now. What I have to share is that currently the higher education program, I've set a deadline for this semester of next Wednesday, which is the 29th, to have all applications completed for the higher ed program. That gives me a chance to make that last funding available prior to school being out, because once school is out, that is considered a debt, and we cannot pay debts with the tribal funding. I also administer the adult education program and the job placement and training program, which includes direct employment assistance and the adult vocational training. Both of those programs currently are jurisdictional. That is 5 counties here in the state of Oklahoma: Caddo, Kiowa, Comanche, Cotton, and Tillman. That's our jurisdiction area. Once we get our annual funding agreement for the self-governance, that may change. And if it does, that would be the best thing for our tribe, because then I can open it up to tribal members outside of our area. Those fundings, adult ed is for short-term training of 1 year or less. Offers up to $4,500. That generally goes toward short-term training, like at a technology center, or a truck driver training, those type of things. The job placement and training, direct employment assistance, is for a person who is starting a new job. We can offer them assistance to help them with gas, meals, you know, things that they're going to have to take care of before they receive their first full paycheck. We can do supplies for them if they're needing something for their new job, like uniforms or tools or things like that. There is a limit on those too, and at the moment I can't think of what they are. The adult vocational training, that is generally when a person is in training, we can offer them a stipend while they're in training, and it is $30 a day, and it's by attendance. That can be a short-term or a long-term program, and it's to help take care of expenses that a student might have while they're in training and not able to work or haven't started working yet. Thank you.
Okay, so just for a minute, Lauren, Travis Guy, he's in the room. He took advantage of allowing some of his students. Travis, was it last year, job placement and training? How many students did you go through the truck driving stuff? Remember?
Hello, y'all. I was gonna talk. Carol, I want to say thank you very much. Our first year at ProDrive, we had 13 people that came through our program. Carol has done everything she can for the Caddo members that go to our school. I want to tell you thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate you. With that, we had 13 our first year. Last year we had 5. So transportation, if you need some drivers, I can hook you up. Brandon, you roll off. I know me and you was talking about you coming to school. I'm still waiting on you. Other than that, that's about it.
Appreciate it. If you guys can give them a round of applause, that puts people to work. So before we conclude our meeting, though, I want to pick on someone too, just out of respect for what they do. She's been appointed to be a representative related to our health issues that we have, and she's been working with, I'll let you explain it.
I'm Arnita P. Wardy, but I am Caddo. My husband's Comanche. But I'm on the health board for Caddo Nation, and Charlotte Moore is on the health board also with me. And Lawton Service Unit's really doing a lot of good things. They're getting their own ambulance, so they don't have to wait on Kirk's or Memorial to transport if they need to go to the city. They just finished their heliport for a helicopter, so they can get people out of there if they needed to be in a hurry. So it's really interesting. I like being on that board. I enjoy Captain Wren is the CEO at IHS, and if you have a problem, if you let me know, I have a phone number, but I don't know what it is right at this moment. And I am on the Caddo website. It's apwardy at mycaddonation.com. And if you have a problem, or if you have a good outcome and you want to just say thank you, if you give that to us, we can take it to the board. And if you can think of something that they need to do or to make something better, I have to tell you, the board is all about that. The Captain Wren and the AEO. So anyway, I'm the person, or Charlotte Moore, either one. If you let us know, we'll do our best to try to help you. Thank you.
All right. Now we'll go back to Lauren. You can open her mic up.
Okay. Good morning. How are you guys doing? My name is Lauren French. I'm the director of the child care program, and I have been the director coming up to 9 years and 10 years at Caddo Nation. So we have a few different things. I handed you guys a little paper on some stuff that may or may not apply to you and your family and your children. So summertime is usually vacation, slow down time for childcare. It's usually speed up and being present probably 7 days a week. We have some really cool stuff coming up. We usually do like child abuse training and severe weather training for a lot of our families and our providers. A date to kind of look forward to is our planting day that's happening on May 9th. This is led by our Hasene Scouts, and it's planting. We have about 3 different gardens that our children have harvested, and so this is their 3rd year of really being able to kind of harvest and cultivate, and those gardens have been growing. So we'll be having that. It'll be a planting and a dance. And then they actually harvest everything in the fall, so that's May 9th. One of the big things that we've noticed in childcare is an uptick, which has impacted a lot of our families, is children being diagnosed on the spectrum at a very younger age. And developmentally, at about 4 years old and 5 years old, they need to be potty trained, and they need to be doing a lot more things independently within childcare facilities. And that is not necessarily the case for a lot of facilities that are able to do that. So we're trying to do 2 things this year. We've allocated some funding for that because childcare facilities, daycare centers are requesting that children at 3 years old start to have a paraprofessional with them in the classroom. And so now we have kind of allocated funding to help that, and we've been able to do that for 3 families. If not, then their childcare service would have ended because that facility would not be able to care for that child. And in all 3 of those cases, those parents would have had to quit work and then stay home with their child. So we're really happy, and we've been working with a lot of providers that if they're coming to that need, to reach out to us first and let us be a part of that instead of that. If not, they're putting that bill on the family, which the most recent one is having the family pay about $1,500 additional to the already $900 to $1,200 child care bill. So we're very excited about that. And so with that, we're going to be doing autism screening here May 19th. It'll either be in Binger or it'll be in Anadarko. We're looking at a space that can house everything. And then we'll be screening. We kind of put it out for to do 50 screenings, and we can do them as young as 2 and 3 years old. So I'm really excited about that one. This year we're also, well, not just this year, but
we're looking at our Caddo camp. Those are usually dates that everybody's kind of rolling into, and those applications will start rolling out in May. But we are doing the Caddo camp that's here that will be just for June, and then we're doing camps called buddy camps, and those will be both in Anadarko and in Oklahoma City, and that's like a child can bring a buddy, which a child can bring a parent or a grandparent, and then we'll have 2-day camps that the parents and grandparents get to kind of like learn alongside the children, and they'll be learning focuses that they were learning in June. So in that space, the children are becoming the instructors to the buddy camps that we're hosting in July for our Caddos. And then our Native Summer Learning Camp will have 3 locations. Anadarko, we're partnering with We the People in Oklahoma City for June, and then we're partnering with the Native Church in Norman that we hosted last year, and then we'll be doing the camp there in July. And that will be, and then our theme this year is reclaiming your power. So we're looking at how to reclaim our voices, reclaim our songs, and reclaim our medicines, and reclaiming our like identity and our knowledge. So that is the hub of everything that they're kind of doing. We have a youth CPR first aid. This is our 3rd year. It is really tricky to get them to certify. She's the only person in the state that does this, and we can certify a child for CPR as young as 8 years old. During the summer, a lot of children are watching their cousins and their babies and their just all the babies of the family, and so we host it right in May, specifically going into summertime. So if they're the big sister, the big cousin, and somebody gets stung by a bee, or they fall out, or grandparent kind of falls out, they kind of know what to do. And that really came in handy last year. They were able to call on some of their grandparents that were having high and low blood sugar and heat stroke. So we also include that within the first aid CPR for our youth. Back to school readiness, that we have our dates on there, and we're really excited to bring Chef Pyatt. We do an eat and earn with our providers, and we're looking at a date towards the end of May, so we'll be looking for some information on that. She's an amazing Indigenous chef, and we'll be bringing her in. And then Hair Care Club, we do that on June 16th, and we invite that to all families that can come out, and we teach parents and grandparents and dads and family members how to fix hair, so it's not just the mom or the older sister that just has to fix hair. So we have that, and then we partner with tribal member Candace Barnes. She's been doing it with us from the very first time, and she brings a lot of cool products that she makes that are all natural products, and then we give free haircuts and everything else like that. So that's a really good one to kind of bring your families to. So that's just some of our planned programming that we have during the summer. Outside of that, we are looking to officially apply for licensing in May for our child care building. We had a soft opening and tour this past week, and then we're going to be working with the council in a couple of weeks to plan the full grand opening, and we're hoping to do that in the summer so that our children and our families have a more accessibility to kind of come and enjoy that moment. Other than that, I think that's about it.
Hi, I am Nina Bahanda. I am the director of our tribal nursing program. It's kind of, a lot of people ask questions like, what do you guys do? We do it all. We do, it consists of home visits, nursing home visits. Those, we aim to go into the nursing home and ensure that our loved ones are receiving quality care, make sure there's no neglect. And if they are, we're gonna advocate for them. Make sure that they're not in there, you know, their brief is full, it's been full, they're getting bed sores, like, we ensure that. We do overall health assessments, vital sign checks. Our home visits consist of me, the RN, we have a CNA that also has a certification in medication administration, so she can even come in and do medication planning. We have 2 caregivers They come in, they do lighthouse duties, transportation. We all do transportation, actually. Um, our caregivers, we also do meal planning, help our elders stay in the home a little longer. Routine hygiene. So what that entails is, let's say somebody has surgery, or our older population is wanting to stay in the home longer, but they're needing some more devices and assistance. We come in with things like shower chairs, handheld shower heads, so they can still do their activities of daily living, and it gives them a sense of autonomy where they can stay in the home. We serve any tribal member with Caddo tribal elders and our members' priority. What comes next is any Native American that has cancer. We're trying to make it to where there are barriers to care. We know that as Native Americans. We're trying to fill those gaps. I'm sorry, I wrote everything down. I handed out our brochure, and if you'll see on there, it says we follow 3 levels of prevention. And what that entails is primary prevention can look like ensuring people are getting their immunizations so they don't have meningitis or things like that. Secondary can be we're encouraging our population to go get your mammograms, go get your colonoscopies. Let's get a head start on that before we start seeing symptoms. Tertiary care, that's the 3rd level of prevention. An example would be somebody has a stroke. They need to be on aspirin to prevent further blood clots and strokes. And so we come in, we are trying to give people a sense of control over their health, because there's been historical trauma from smallpox we see people going to appointments and there's a negative attitude towards Native Americans. We come in, we advocate for them. An example would be advocating to ensure that they have wound care, they have physical therapy, they have occupational therapy. We do referrals to specialists like cardiologists, urologists, nephrologists, all of the things. And so our goal is we are trying to address those gaps and help our Native Americans gain a sense of autonomy over their own health. And once we have that, and once we can give our Native Americans those tools, I feel like it can only go up from there. Like we are trying to, let me see. Okay, so an example of things that we do also is preventing isolation. We take some of our elders to the salon, they go to the library. We help run errands, like get their bills paid. They need transportation to these areas that we fill in for. We also have a DME on loan program, and DME means durable medical equipment. That could be a shower chair, that could be a wheelchair, a cane. We also have things where we can assess your A1C. Let's say you haven't been to the doctor in a while, that's okay. We can still start with a baseline. We can help you get into the doctor. Sometimes you can go in and feel like, they're not listening to me. I don't want to go anymore. I don't feel like I'm being heard. That's where we come in. We are standing behind you 100% in making sure that that physician is listening to you, and if not, I'm going to encourage you, let's go elsewhere. Let's go where we are respected. Let's go where we are heard. And let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting. I could talk all day about our program and everything that we do, and I feel like I'm forgetting the huge gaps. Let's see. Lastly, we operate off a holistic approach. And what that means is we don't just look at the physical aspect of health. We don't look at the symptoms and just the disease. We look at the physical, mental, spiritual aspect, because that is all inclusive. That all means something in health, not just, making sure you're going and getting your blood pressure medication and stuff like that. No, it's making sure that you are still mentally okay. So an example of that is isolation, we see that a lot in our elders. Maybe they don't have family nearby. Maybe they're dealing with chronic diseases and they can't drive anymore. And so, sorry. I know a lot of our programs, they operate off a certain jurisdiction. Ours, it can be anywhere. Somebody in Texas, hey, I need assistance, I need some information. How can I get my grandparents home health set up? How can I get them as an appointment with a specialist? I come in, I show you the steps and what you need to do that for your patient or for your family member. I'm trying to think. I feel like I do wound care, but I have to have a doctor's order. We have the supplies for it all, but legally for my license, I have to have that. And so we do home visits entailing that. There's a big part of end-of-life care. We respect our older population that they don't want to go to the nursing home, but they have somebody in the home that can help them and care for them till the end. We come in, we assist with bathing, making sure they have a good quality of life, even to the end. And so, if anybody has any questions, you can always call me, email me anytime. Thank you.
Okay, I know the food's here. I just want to make mention, because I know everyone's been sitting for quite a while. Appreciate everyone's patience. I just want to mention a little bit of something about our nurses and our RN and our healthcare workers. They deal with a lot of tragedy. They deal with a lot of uncertainty. They deal with a lot of families, and they deal with a lot of death, unfortunately. They work alongside our people. They deal with they deal with a lot of emotions as they move their day every day. I know there's been counts where, 50, 70, 80 people being cared for, anywhere from cancer to someone being on their deathbed, to someone that needs a cane, to somebody that needs a ride, someone needs to, just to say hi to someone. We had a gentleman, I'm not going to say no names. We had a gentleman that's paralyzed. We have several, but one in particular hadn't been able to stand, and probably since he had a stroke. And the other day he stood for the first time. He stood in front of his parents, and our nurses were there to help him stand. They believed that he could stand, and it happened. They all cried about it. That was the first time he stood up. That was the first time that he felt some independence, and he loves what we're doing. But I sat there and thought about, what if we wasn't able to do that? What if we didn't have, people like Arnita, people like the council, people like you, people that's sitting in your chair that actually care? People don't care what you know. They care. The only time people care what you know is when they know that you care. That's the way I was raised. And that's the way I'm going to live my life, is what you know when people care is when you care about people and put people first instead of yourself. Then the Creator is going to take care of you without even asking for anything in return. So before we end, I'm going to hand this mic to Kelly Factor, our vice chair, and if any council wants to say anything, and then we'll open it up for any last-minute comments. All the directors are here for you to have visit with them, all our boards, anything. We're going to turn it over here, then after we're done, then we'll ask Brandon. We're going to ask you before we finish up to pray for that food, okay? All right.
Hello, everybody. Like you said, I'm Kelly Factor. I'd like to thank all the directors for being here and giving updates. We really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. As Bobby was saying, we've done a lot. A lot of times the council, we're kind of in the background. You guys hear and see a lot from Bobby. But, we work really hard. We have a lot of meetings, and we think really hard and long before we make any decisions moving the tribe forward, because we always think about what we can do to improve the tribe and think about our future generations. My mom told me once that her grandmother told her that her grandfather told her, so we go way, way, way back, that a long, long, long time ago, like the Caddo men would set up all night in the teepee and pray, and they would pray for the Caddo people. And they would pray for their, not only for their children and their grandchildren, but she was told that they would pray for their future generations. Like, I don't want to get like emotional, but they would pray for like 100, 200 years down the road of future Caddo people, our descendants. And we like to think that way too. We got to think about our future, not just like what's going to benefit us for here and right now, but we make our decisions based on our future generations, because we think that that's extremely important as a nation. We've worked really hard at the decisions that moving forward, like self-governance. That was a huge decision for us to decide to go self-governance. The tribes always relied on programs that come down through the BIA, through the agency, and as a tribe and our sovereignty, we need to be self-governing as a tribe and moving forward that way. Doing our own energy, that's a big thing. It's a huge step for us as a tribe, is energy. We've worked at expanding our land base. When we first got on the council, we really wanted to expand our land base, which we have done. We've been doing. We want to continue doing. The child care center being built. You know, I remember the day Bobby and I went out and found that land, and we went and toured it. We met with the realtors, and we immediately said, we got to have this land. It was about 100 acres, I believe, and it was back there in Hinton by right off of the Hinton exit. We had a discussion and brought it back to the council and said this would be ideal. It's got a little cabin on it. It's got a little bridge. It's got a little lake on it. We could let our Caddo children, our Caddo people, like do family stuff and come out there, take your kids and go fishing. You know, I mean, just do outdoor stuff like that. We want to encourage that. This is why we were looking at the land. We want to expand it. We want us to be able to do stuff with our families. You know, take your kids, if you want to take your children out there and take them fishing, you know, do it. You know, these are why we're looking at things that we do. You know, the Constitution reform, we know that that's been a really big issue. You know, we knew that before we came on council. So we're all really happy to see that moving forward, and we appreciate all the people that are working on it, our economic development. Also with the veterans, I joined this group I had found out about earlier this year. It's called the Tamaqui Veterans Association. That I hadn't heard of it prior, but then I got contacted and asked if I wanted to join, and I said sure. So I started going to their meetings. Their mission statement is to meet veterans where they are and to connect with them in meaningful resources and meet their individual needs. They work at connecting resources with the veterans and programs. So they're a really good resource. And if you have any questions about that, you can just let me know, and I can help you out, like with issues you might have where you need help with as a veteran. It says that they assist the veterans connecting with their resources, which I just stated. But anyway, it's Tamaqui is a Delaware name, and it was a Delaware man, veteran that started it. So anyway, we have another meeting Monday. So I'm just happy to be a part of that as well, moving forward. And we want to do more to help our veterans, our Caddo veterans out there. So if you have family members or you yourself are a veteran, just let us know. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, before we go further, I want to take care of something. Kara, could you please stand? The best thing I could do is just give the mic to her, and she can introduce herself, and she'll let you know who she is.
Hello, I was not planning on speaking, so my name is Kara Doherty. I have been born and raised in Lokiwa, Oklahoma, which is right down the road. My family members, my great-grandmother was a pretty, and she came from the Readers, so that is my family lineage. I am currently in the role of the interim Binger representative, and I'm very, very honored to be able to serve my tribe. Okay, I have worked for Indian Health Service for over 7 years. I currently work for the Great Plains area, which consists of North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. And my education is, I have 2 bachelor's degrees from Southwestern Oklahoma State University. The first one is in communications, and the second one is in health information management, so medical coding. Throughout IHS, I have worked at the front desk, collecting insurance and helping patients establish charts. I got to help a lot through COVID and ensuring that Native Americans as well as their spouses received vaccines, because we were able to give non-Native Americans who were married to Native Americans their vaccines to protect us. I then moved into credentialing, so background checks on all of the providers. And now I hold a HR position, and I do background checks on everybody that enters those facilities before they can treat our people, because it's super important to see who is taking care of our people. And I always think before I clear somebody, who would I want this person working on my grandma? Would I want them working on me? Future generations. So IHS and the tribe have a special place in my heart. Oh, so going to Southwestern, the education, I got scholarships through you guys, so you guys helped me get my education, and I am so appreciative of that. And knowing that, I felt drawn to come and give back to the Caddo tribe. You guys helped support me through my education. Now I'm here to help us, so trying to bring it back around. So thank you.
It's awesome. Thank you. All right. I think we're pretty much there because we have the food here. We're going to ask Brandon to say a prayer for the food before we adjourn. We want to give everybody online, if they want to say anything or if you want to say something. We have members that you can talk to here. The council's here. The directors are here. If you want to talk to them, after we get through praying, that's fine to do so. But I just wanted to give you a chance if you want to say something to the people that's online, or anyone online, if you have something you'd like to add, it's your time to do so. Okay.
Thank you. I was just wanting to know what the elders are going to be doing whenever they need their dentures fixed or they need to have dentures, since we no longer have the guy that was doing it over by the WC, on the WCD land or on the Caddo land. Anyway, he's not there anymore, so what are we supposed to do? Or has anybody found out where we can go, or are they given, I don't know what the elders need to do, or anybody that needs dentures or their teeth fixed or whatever. We were getting them for free, and now it's like.
All right, so you heard what was asked. Just so that everybody knows, the gentleman that was providing the dentures retired out. He's no longer there. And so with that, Indian Health Service, right? Medicare, Medicaid, you can talk to our CHR workers, our healthcare workers. I'm going to pick on my mom for a minute because she had an experience related to teeth, and she just told me last night. And I want you to explain for a minute how you felt and how long it took you just to get into to look at Indian Health to look at your teeth.
The last 2 days of this week, I just happened to be leaving the pharmacy at the clinic, and I went by dental because I've been on their list for over a year and a half, just to get teeth cleaned
maybe follow up with more care. When I was over there, she said, "Oh, I just now recognize you, and I want to tell you that we do have a hygienist now. And if you can be seen today, right now, we'll take you in." So they're starting to take patients, dental patients, for dentures or other care. Um, I thought I was really surprised because it took a whole year and a half, and I spent last 2 days, uh, Thursday and Friday there at the clinic and dental, and I was happy, happy. And then I have an appointment coming up next month. Yay! They will do dentures, and well, I was told that they will do dentures. Well, they have people now to take care of them. Yeah. I told them that I was running out of my teeth. If they're ever going to see me, they need to let me know. Because I can go to Clinton and get it done, you know. Yeah. You go to Clinton, you have to start a new chart at Clinton and they'll pick you up. You have to wait on them. It's a regular appointment. I'm sure they have to schedule you and do everything prior. You got to establish the record first.
Yeah. You want to speak to that just for a second, just so that you guys know, it's a problem across the board, and we have to deal with it, right? Indian Health Service, the issues that we have. My mom, it took her a year and a half to 2 years just to get her teeth looked at. What she told me, look, by the time they look at them, I'm going to only have a few teeth left. All right, well, I'm right behind you, and I'm the chairman. I can't even get in. All right, here you go.
I do know that some IHS facilities do have dental or denture people that are on staff. Not all IHS is equipped with that. I can find out some more information for you, and I'd be more than happy to. I did want to speak to one more thing. My family currently uses it. ADA has a program. I don't know if any of you know this. Everybody that I've told about, it's been a new thing that they've never heard about. ADA actually has a program where if you get your prescriptions sent to the ADA pharmacy, they will mail your prescriptions to you. And not only do they cover you, but they cover your non-native spouse. So my mom's native. She gets her prescriptions mailed to there, as well as my dad. He has high blood pressure and stuff like that. So they're able to take care of you as well as your non-native family member, if you have those. But one of the great things is that they'll mail them to you and you don't actually have to go get them, pick them up. So you would have IHS write out your prescription, send it to ADA, and they will fill it and send it back to you. All you have to do is fill out a form online. I did tell someone that is in charge of the website to try to get that added to the Caddo Nation website to give more information to our tribal members to try to help facilitate that. But I will look into your denture issue and see. I know that Clinton does it, El Reno and Watonga. They do dentures in their dentistry. And I believe that they're on a 3-month wait time. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And get an appointment. Yes, ma'am. I do know. hmm I do also know at IHS and Clinton, they do have walk-in appointments in the morning. So if you get there at the earliest, I know you're not wanting to travel. This is just information that you can get walk-in appointments that they get the dentist in there immediately, but it's like first come, first served early in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. It's an issue. The problem is, either you have insurance or you don't. Hold on, they can't hear you. Just wait a minute because we have two people talking. I know. Just hold on for a second because I'm gonna bring you the mic. That way people can hear you online. So the issue was brought up about this individual that was providing dentures. He doesn't have a license. That's why he's no longer there.
In person myself, and that's not what he told us. And but he was out there for 30-something years without a license, and nobody said anything or said anything to him.
I got it.
Sorry, let me go back to what I was saying. But earlier on the meeting and stuff, like that's what we brought up, and then y'all say utilize IHS, utilize IHS, and then but yet you just like case in point every single time it's you have to wait. So that's what she's saying, that y'all had something set up with that person, and now there's not, that person's not there. And I understand. I heard the reason why, your side, that side, all of that. I've heard it, two sides to every story. But what we're saying is what does the council plan to do to help with that, since that resource has been taken away? And yes, IHS is one of the resources, but what else is the tribal council and stuff willing to do to help our elders or whoever else needed? What's another resource that they can set in place since that one's been taken away?
Well, for one, let's go back to Travis. You listening up? So we met a group with the United South and Eastern Tribes that's able to help us set up our healthcare system framework related to all health services, including dentures. One of the things that they do is they come in and evaluate where we're at as a tribe and work with us related to billing and coding for Medicare and Medicaid so that we can resolve these issues. Now, the issues with this individual that was providing healthcare service did not provide this council or our law firm with a credible license to operate that we do not give. That's from the denture side in the medical profession. What he did provide, however, was a certificate of an organization that doesn't exist, where a previous chairman probably 30 years ago signed off on this guy to provide health service, and this guy could not produce a license, and still to this day never did. All we asked for is a copy of his license. Therefore, since he couldn't produce it, he said he's going to retire. Also, when you have two squad cars unmarked waiting outside because they was providing, one of his dental guys was providing prescriptions to tribal members, and there was a side effect related to some of our tribal members that reported it to the state. Now you got a person practicing without a license on federal land who's non-native. That's an issue. That's a federal issue. So to pull the plug on that, he couldn't provide the documentation. He was going to retire. He retired. And then he sold his trailer to someone, and guess what? There's no wheels underneath for them to move it. So we're trying to figure that out. But just so that you know, that's one of the reasons he's not there. Okay. Oh, Arnita, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, if you could write that up and send it either to me or Charlotte, we can take it to the health board and see what they can do, because they have dental services, and we don't just look at Lawton, we look at Anadarko, where Caddos go. So
right.
we might be able to help get a pathway in
Yeah,
there with
it's
with Mr. Hunter.
we could do that. We could write a letter because a lot of problems that a lot of our elders are faced, right, is we don't get the services that we need. We can't, I mean, I went over there. I can't even get in and look at them for them to look in my eyes. It's really a bad situation. Yeah, that's why Arnita's here. She's working on a lot of different things with us. Okay. Well, I know it's not going to happen overnight, right? Because you have to peel back the layer and you have to deal with all that. Yeah, but
Well, I apologize. I had knee surgery in January and I couldn't come. But yeah. Well, it's better for me to take or Charlotte.
I tell you what, while you guys are here, you guys can work it out and then whatever we need to do to support that. You got it. Okay. You guys have anything else to add? All right. Anybody else have anything else to add? All right.
Also, one thing that we do help with, so if people utilize IHS, let's say you have a medical issue, you have to go to the nearest ER. They come back and you have to write a letter of appeal because they're denying you. We'll come in, we can help you write that appeal. Also, I know like the dental service, that was very convenient. That is an issue if somebody is providing care and they don't have a license. That is more of a threat to our people than having that there and it being a convenience. Also, I understand like you work, you don't want to take off. That's a drive. I get it. We can come in. We can transport you. I can't fix the part where you have to miss work, but we can help with that transportation service to that service of the dental. If you have to go back again, we can take you. If we work together, we can do so much more.
All right. So is there anyone online that has any questions? I don't want to miss those guys. Okay. One more time. Anybody else have anything to add? You can take that mic to Steve. Oh, yeah, after Stephen, we have one online, so.
Okay, I don't know if I need to talk to anyone about the store in Gracemont. I don't know who I have to address for that.
The manager's not here for the store in Gracemont.
Okay, so.
But we can take your comments and
I'll
deal.
address it to you guys. Okay, because unfortunately, what I'm hearing a lot in Gracemont is it's the inconvenience store because there's never any food in there. We went in there wanting to get hamburgers at 4 o'clock, and she had turned that grill off. And she said, "Oh, it's supposed to be open until 6." But we got Michelle down here running this. We got Michelle running down here, the convenience store down here. Always food in there, always going. She runs it by herself, which I hope she's compensated for that because she does a great job down there. But we go down here to Gracemont, and you never know if you're going to have food in there or not. She's always cleaning. She said, "Oh, hon, I gotta, I just cleaned the grill, but I can restart it for you, if you really want, us to go back there and cook." And then people, they start cleaning up at 7:30 just to get out there at 8. People going in there, trying to go in there. She's counting her cash. "Oh, well, if you're gonna pay with cash, it's really gonna mess up my money. Can you pay with card?" They're not really serving. They're not addressing. I mean, they're not. You go in there, you don't feel like going in there. People say, "Oh, well, we'll just go down to Anadarko," and it's something. It's not making it's not making us look good. It's not making the tribe look good because people are saying, "Well, isn't that your tribal store? Isn't that your tribe? Can't you do something? Can't you, It's just something for you guys to look into. I'm not asking to, change things, but just kind of look at it and make sure that, there are hours set, that they are professional, that they will address people when you walk in, not be on their phone. And, you walk around and come back and then they put the phone down, wait on you, and not even really, "Hey, how you doing? Is there anything else you need?" Just stuff like that. It's really something that, I wouldn't say anything, but it's making us look good, making the tribe look bad because, we're not providing that service. I mean, like I said, people you know, and then if you want a certain, you know, also like the refills. We do refills down here for 99 cents. You bring a cup in, she refills it. You go down there. Well, the department, the health department got on to us. We can't let y'all do that. You know, the management told us that, you know, which I guess is you guys, said that we can no longer do that, but you still do it down here. So you're getting, you know, 2 stories here. So is it, you know, is, you know, something for you guys to look into, because it's not, you know, it's not making us look good. And then changing over to Champ's Chicken, I don't know whose idea that was, because you got to have so much chicken, a quota every month, and then the hanger pizza, no one likes it. They come down here to get the Hunt's pizza. So I don't know, you know, or they go down to Darko. But like I said, it's not. A lot of people, you know, like I said in Gracemont, just say, hey, you know, what's wrong with your store? And I have to say, I don't.
Yeah, appreciate the comments, Stephen. This is the best place for it because Travis is sitting over there and he's taking notes.
Okay.
And, you know, as far as evaluating the store management and what they do, well, that's the kind of input we need, you know, so thanks. News to probably, yeah, it just depends on who you're talking to, I guess. We'll figure it out. Okay, so we have one more question online.
Okay. It says, will the camp location and dates information for OKC and Norman be available on the website? So they just want to make sure that information.
Lauren, did you get that? Okay, let's go one snappy because we're going to let this gentleman pray.
We're just getting the actual confirmation of dates and everything for both of We the People and for Norman, so we can release that all at the same time, and it's kind of on one application that they're applying for one or the other. So we're releasing all of that when we get our official, yes, these are the dates locked in 100%. And that should be coming, we're going to release that 1st of May.
All right, thank you. Okay, so with that, thank you for being here. Again, appreciate you guys doing what you're doing out in the field. Everyone here has a voice and a comment. You know, we may not fix it today, may not happen tomorrow, may not happen yesterday, but you got to maintain, you know, we got to maintain getting these things done. I'm glad that you bring those things up, just like the dentures. It's important. I mean, we had 1,000 phone calls about that, you know, and we just really couldn't talk about it because it's a legal issue on not our end, but also on the gentleman end. That it's just a legally. It could have got this tribe in a big bind, and we have a lot of patients that are having issues with this service. So with that said, we're going to adjourn, and I ask Brandon again to say a word for our food, but before we do that, we'll need a motion to adjourn, and then a second, and everybody say aye or nay, or however you want to do it. No, yeah, we'll bring you the mic, because no, we want people online to hear us. What I'm after is participation. Good, bad, indifferent, or ugly. We need participation from our members because that's what's going to make this tribe happen.
Amy Heath, and I make a motion to adjourn.
I second the motion. Sunny Balfour. All in favor? All opposed?
You gotta raise your hand, Jim. $22. All right, 22. No one abstains. We good on your end online? We're getting the final count online. Everyone online, thank you for participating and continue to advocate to allow more members to participate as we continue to grow. $25. So the motion carries, and we are adjourned. Turn it over to you, sir.
Real quick, we'll bow real quick. Thank you, Lord, again for bringing us together. Great meeting today. Be with them as they travel home. Be with all the loved ones. Watch over them and their families. Thank you for the nourishment of our body. Thank you for this food that we're about to eat. Just be with us. Be with the ones that need it. And keep watching over us. Thank you. Amen.